Hi everyone and welcome to episode 11 in our Let's Play Planet Coaster 2 series here on Theme Park Worldwide. We're going to continue on with Primrose Lagoon, the water park at Primrose Forest. I started work on this in the last episode and just kind of started with putting the pools and slides in and getting a bit of a general feel for a water park because I've never built one before in the game. This is my first one and obviously want to make sure that I get it looking great. Now obviously I mentioned quite a few times throughout the previous episode that that was literally just putting in the foundation, putting in like the base for this water park, and you're really going to see now throughout this episode how it's going to come together with the theming, making it really immersive, and lots of landscaping and things to go in as well. So it's going to look completely different by the end of this episode. Now, from reading the comments, I think a few people thought that it was almost finished in the previous episode. Not at all. If you've watched these videos for a while, you'll know that I always like to kind of put a bit of an idea down first. It's nowhere near finalised, and you'll see that throughout this. You know, make little edits and add things, and yeah, that was literally just kind of, you know, putting it all down there and just seeing, how a water park works in this game. But I'm really pleased with how it started to come together, but you really don't get a full idea on how it's going to look until you start adding the theming in. Now, as I'm doing this, I'll be going round and kind of refining each of the different pools and slides and things as we go, adding some theme into the slide towers, some restaurants, lots of seating. Obviously, we need that in a water park. And just putting it all together. But as always, really appreciate your feedback. But like I said, I just thought it was quite funny reading some of the comments. I think people literally thought that, there was a few of you out there that thought it was done. Nowhere near. Like, literally, that was just phase one, putting in the foundation, as I do with the theme parks. But I'd say I did that even more with this water park, just kind of putting this base down and then kind of fleshing out the ideas from there, working from that point, just to kind of get it right, because I've never built one before in the game. So watch this space. By the end of the episode, it's going to have come together beautifully. Right then, as you can see, I'm working on the entrance area to the water park here now. As soon as you come in through the turnstiles, you're going to be greeted with this big building. It's got the changing facilities in there as well. We've got a male and female changing facility. They've got dryers in there. There'll be lockers. And also you've got like a little guest services and cabana pickup area down there at the front as well, where you'll be able to get your keys to your cabana if you've hired one of those, because we're going to have some nice fancy cabanas round by the water park. Now obviously we're going to be adding a lot of rock work. You're going to see a lot of that going in throughout the episode. In fact, I only recorded probably about 30% of the rock work going in because I thought it's a bit boring if you're just watching me place loads of rocks. But you'll see every so often I keep kind of putting them in because I want this to look like this Caribbean paradise island, and we also want it to look quite natural as well. It's like this, the story goes, like we've got this Caribbean town that's kind of built up over the years and expanded and has now become very popular with tourism, and you're going to see that throughout the theme that we're going to put out with this Caribbean style. So we've got like a lot of wooden shacks and festoon lighting, lots of colours as you can see already here. It's really going to start coming together. Now obviously with each section of this water park, it's going to look slightly different in each area. There's going to be some different colours and that sort of thing. As I mentioned again in the previous episode, I didn't like colour the slides or anything correctly. I just kind of put the basics in and then we're fleshing it out in this episode now. So we want to make sure obviously we've got some nice landscaping around here, such as all these palm trees, and there's a lot of work. Like, this was very, very time consuming to get this looking right. But you can see just how empty and barren it looks there. Wait until 40 minutes at the end of the episode. That's when you'll see just how full this looks. And it's still not finished by the end of the episode. There's some finishing touches still to add, but it's generally a lot more filled out and fleshed out than it is right here. So we're working on this bridge just here now, which is going to connect from the entrance area over the top of the lazy river. And that's a ramp there as well. So we've got to think about access for pushchairs, wheelchairs, strollers, all that kind of stuff. We've got some that are just steps access, but then also there's always access to the main area with the ramp. Same at the back, we've got another pathway just there with a ramp instead of steps too. We've got lots of, it's just nice to be working with the resort theme, to be honest. I really like it a lot. Or like the bamboo and signage and that sort of thing. It's great. It's like this tropical paradise island that we're going for just here. So lots of signage going in, like cocktails, and we're going to have a few like bars and things around here as well. And visited a lot of water parks for inspiration over the years as well. So we're going to see how this comes together. Now, in terms of the buildings, it's all going to be quite colourful, all quite vibrant. We want this to be you know, this kind of magical in its own way Paradise Island. When you get there, it's like, you know, if you've been on a cruise and you arrive at like this beautiful like Paradise Island, that's the kind of feel that we're going to go with here. With the water park here, Primrose Lagoon. Now, bear with me if I sound a little bit sniffly. I've been so ill these past few days, you know. I've been really flued up. Had quite a few video plans for this week before we head to Florida in a few days. And yeah, literally, I've just not had the chance to do them because I've been so poorly. So you've got to bear with me. I've got my box of tissues just over here. And yeah, I got the classic cordial as always. But yeah, really not been feeling great. I think the flu's been going around a lot. And yeah, I've been so flued up this week, you know. I know quite a few people that have been, and Charlotte's been a little bit flued up as well. Luckily, you know, she's feeling all right, which is good. And with the pregnancy and everything, she's feeling a bit better than she was, which is great. But yeah, we've just been a little bit flued up this week. So bear with me in this episode. If I start like getting a bit sniffly, you know why. So right then, what we're starting to do here now is add some of the rocks around the edging of the pools. Now, there was a few people that, again, thought that the pools were complete in the previous episode, even though I said numerous times that, you know, they weren't. But yeah, basically, I want to make this look as natural as possible. So the plan is we're going to have like all these rocks around all the edges of every pool. And that took a lot of time to do. But I think it looks great. I love water parks that do that, and actually Alton Towers water park in Splash Landings does that beautifully, where you don't really see the edges of a lot of the pools. You've got like rocks that, you know, literally come out of the water. It's the same with like Rulantica in some areas and various other water parks, but especially like the high budget ones. It's weird to think, you know, that Alton Towers water park, when it opened in 2003, was done to a really high budget actually with things like that. So I want to make sure we're doing that here in our water park. So yeah, that's the plan, to kind of put all the rocks around all the edges, and that's why I wanted to kind of, I didn't kind of have them round the corners of the pool, because that was just putting in the placement, you know, literally, you were going to put all these rocks round and buildings and landscaping. Just starting to build up the terrain a little bit here around a couple of the big slides. Again, they're not in the final colour scheme, we'll be changing them later in the episode. With this, I wanted to make sure that we're blocking in the fact that, you know, we've got the main road at the other side there. I want it to be nice and immersive for guests in the water park. So we're just kind of blocking that in off to the side. And here on the right, again, that's just a little bit of landscaping for them rooms in the hotel that would look out in that direction. There's a phase 2 expansion plot for the water park on the right-hand side there as well. Which I'm sure I will work on at some point in the future. Talking of in the future, there is going to be a bit of a gap between this episode and the next one because of our trip to Florida. And like I say, I've been quite poorly. And originally this week I was going to be filming quite a bit. I was going to pre-record a few episodes, 3 or 4 episodes to put on whilst we were away in Florida for a few weeks and kind of drop them in between the Florida vlogs. But unfortunately, with how poorly that I've been, and I'm still not the best now, not 100%, I've just not had the time to do that, sadly. So it does mean there's going to be a bit of a gap in the series now. Probably going to be about a gap of about a month, because we're not back from Florida until mid-February. We're going for quite a long time just to go and soak it all up, and we're doing a cruise and things as well. And some water parks, I'm sure, which will be nice. More inspiration. So yeah, unfortunately, there is going to be a bit of a gap in the series. I didn't want that to happen, but sadly, there is going to be a gap now before the next episode. But yeah, it'll give you time to catch up on the other episodes if you haven't already, and also as well, there's going to be lots of Florida content coming up. And with the series moving forwards, we'll kind of pick it up then mid-February, carry on with the weekly episodes, and then I'd say the series will probably come to an end just before the start of the season in March, because we're going to be out experiencing the theme parks then, doing a lot more parks and attractions instead of at home playing Planet Coaster. But yeah, so that's the kind of plan going forwards with the series. We're going to do the steampunk area in the park and kind of go from there. Cabanas. Who loves a cabana at a water park? I certainly do, and I think they look fantastic. So I think we're going to have quite a few of these cabanas that we're going to place around. Obviously, the beauty with this game is that you can make one and then we can copy and paste everything, duplicate it, and put them all the way around. So we're going to make sure we've got these cabanas. There's going to be a good variety of seating at this water park. Obviously, you want to make sure there's plenty of places to sit when you're visiting an attraction like this. So along with these cabanas, there's going to be all the sun lounges. There's going to be a lot of just benches with parasols on as well, like thatched parasols. And then in the phase 2 area as well, we'll be able to add even more seating. I've already got the plans really for the phase 2 area that I'm going to do. If I get round to it, but I'm sure that I will do. It takes a long time to record these episodes, it really does. But yeah, I do enjoy building a lot, I really do. So yeah, we're just duplicating these here now along the waterfront. We were having the grass turn into sand there now, which is good. Starting to landscape that a little bit more and get a bit of a feel for it. Because obviously, what the plan is with these cabanas is to not have like a main pathway going to them, but just kind of like a wooden plank pathway. Again, we want this to look as realistic as possible and actually feel like this Caribbean like town, what's just gradually expanded over the years. Not everything here is going to be perfect. Not everything's going to be straight. Things are going to be a little bit wonky and a little bit edgy, a little bit rustic. That's the word I was looking for, rustic. Is how this is all going to come together. But yeah, I'm really pleased with the overall progress of this so far. But yeah, in terms of our Florida trip coming up, we're going to be visiting all the major theme parks, so stay tuned for that. We're going to be at Walt Disney World, we're going to be at Universal, there's new rides to experience. I'm excited for Tiana's, I'll be riding that for the first time at Magic Kingdom. There's the new coasters, Penguin Trek at SeaWorld, which we'll be getting on, along with that as well. We've got the new coaster Phoenix Rising at Busch Gardens, and then yeah, we've got the cruise coming up on the Sandbrook Adventures. So lots to be excited for, lots of Florida content, and it'll be a great way to start the year. We always like to do a big trip at this time of the year, and yeah, we're looking forward to it. We've gone a little bit later than we normally would do this time, but yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. It's going to be great, and we can't wait to take you along with all of the different vlogs. Anyone fancy a drink at Pineapple Joe's just over here? Hey, this is like my knockoff version of Trader Sam's that you get at the Disney parks. Pineapple Joe's. So yeah, this is just like a little bar and eatery. We're doing some ice creams there and things as well, some beef, just down by the pool, some hot food. And this will be like a nice seating area out the front here as well, just for guests to kind of enjoy. In terms of the cabanas, if you book the cabana, you'd be able to order food to the cabana as well. So I thought, let's keep it realistic there. Let's put this restaurant in. So there's kitchens nearby to the cabanas, because obviously they're located directly behind. All the cabanas that we're going to build are going to be in that same sort of area. And so at least there's a kitchen nearby as well. There's a toilet facility in the back there of the restaurants. And obviously that's handy for people who are in the cabanas as well, because they wouldn't have toilets in. So yeah, you can come round here and pick up your cocktails and take them round. Yeah, Joe's Cocktails. Pineapple Joe is a famous guy. There we go. But yeah, that's what I love about, like, you know, water parks in general, when they really go to town with a theme in. And obviously I think Disney have done that better than anyone, haven't they, really, with an outdoor water park. But then Rulantica at Europa Park now has really kind of changed that from an indoor water park and going away from the kind of cliche tropical that, you know, I'm working with here. But, you know, they did like a Scandinavian style, which is incredible. Like, you know, I love Rulantica. It's completely different. But for this, I wanted to do that kind of classic Caribbean style water park. You know, in the future, I might build another water park. I've got a plan for an indoor one that I'd like to in the future. And maybe, yeah, I'd use some different theming for that. But with this being my first one, I wanted to do that kind of typical Caribbean water park. And I know it is like a bit cliche, isn't it, doing that theme? But that's just what I wanted to do with it being the first one that I've ever built. These are nice benches, aren't they, just going in round here? So yeah, we're just adding quite a few of them around. Like little surfboards, and I wanted to make sure we've got plenty of room here for the benches and seating in general. So yeah, we've got the space for all that round here. We've got a little beach buggy. I thought that'd be a nice photo opportunity, and you see that, don't you, when you go, you know, to some tropical places and they've got like just buggies parked up and like photo opportunities, that sort of thing. And in this day and age, like with social media, like it's really important to be doing stuff like that, isn't it? Because it just gets people talking about your business. Adding more rocks in, like I said, there's plenty of hashtag rock work that we're putting in, hashtag rock work, throughout this park, and lots of landscaping. So obviously we've got the palm trees that we're adding round. It's not all going to be palm trees, we're going to be adding like some little smaller plants around too. Making the most of that scaling tool, that's a really good feature. Obviously with the scaling tool you can make things bigger or smaller. To keep it realistic, you don't want your trees to be the same size everywhere, do you? You want them to be a little bit different in some areas, and different heights, and if you want to, you can just bury them a little bit. I do that sometimes instead of scaling everything. But yeah, this gives you a bit of an idea on, you know, the overall theme and aesthetic that we're going for with this water park, Primrose Lagoon. Got a little tuk-tuk going in. Again, another photo opportunity just here. Maybe if this was a real water park, they'd be selling like beers and cocktails and stuff from that there, just off to the side. But yeah, I'm quite happy with that. And we've got these little tiki statues. I like them, little totem statues. So yeah, we're going to add a lot of them throughout the water park. But I hope now you're starting to get a bit more of a feel for the look of it just here. I certainly was. At this stage now of building, I was thinking, right, we've got a good idea now of how this is coming together. It's about building up them layers. You know, building in this game can be so overwhelming. It really can, especially compared to like Roller Coaster Tycoon, where you just get, you know, great results in a much shorter period of time. With this, you get amazing results, but it does take a very, very long time. So yeah, you want to do stuff in layers and build it up over time, and that's how it works out, in my opinion. What you're seeing here is actually about 4 hours worth of work building this water park. So yeah, it took a long time. 4 hours is just for doing all this theming. It might have even took a little bit longer than that actually in the end, by the time I'd added all the little details and finishing touches. So you got to have a lot of patience to be doing this. Right then, we've got a lifeguard position there. Obviously, we're not going to worry too much about positioning the lifeguards yet until we're at the stage of nearly opening, which will be in some point in the future. With this series, we don't open the water park in this episode. Originally that was going to be pre-recorded to go on whilst we were away in Florida, but like I say, with me being ill, it's kind of set back the series by a few episodes, sadly. But still, we are going to Florida. We're going to meet some real theme parks, which is going to be amazing. Here we've got the sun loungers going in there. Plenty of room for loungers. This is like your main kind of relaxation area out the front of the big wave pool. So we wanted to make sure we've got the loungers all there. We've got the benches as well, slightly different wooden benches that we're just putting round, and we've got plenty of pathways for adding loungers and benches all the way around. Obviously, you know, people just want to come out the pool and after they've had a dip and just have a bit of a chill, might go to Pineapple Joe's and get a nice cocktail. This is good fencing, I like that. Like, we're putting that all the way across. That's quite a good view looking out towards the lazy river, just down there underneath. Hey, and then you've got these. I just love the scaling tool, because like, we can have big statues there, small ones in other areas. That comes together nicely. Right then, you can tell I love a good pool bar, can't you? We're going for this one in here now. So yeah, we've got the bar, which is in that back left corner. Obviously, this sadly won't function really in the game because it's not set up for that. But we'll pretend that this is going to be a bar down here in this little grotto underneath the rocks and kind of all covered over down here at the end. And I thought, well, you know, we've got quite a heavy storyline here. Let's call this Crazy Claire's. And Claire is this crazy lady who collects all these different artifacts from around the world, and she displays them in her bar. But she doesn't display them very well. She just kind of chucks them up on the wall. So we've got Crazy Claire's just down here. Like I say, she's a little bit crazy, but we all know, you know, someone out there who like just collects loads of things like theme park mugs, you know, and just puts them everywhere. And that's what Claire does here, Crazy Claire. And that's her little bar area just down here. Right now, I'm just going to leave you over the next couple of minutes with a little bit of theme park music. And yeah, I'll be back shortly and I'll continue on talking about what I'm doing here in the episode. Oh, I tell you what, when you get a nice overview there, starting to get a good look at how this is coming together. Yeah, just been working on more of the terrain and landscaping around by the cabanas, and then now we're adding in another building here just off to the side of the pool, and yeah, this is going to be like a little pool shop and another guest services area just here as well. Obviously wanted to make sure that we had a shop kind of further into the water park. There'll be one down by the main entrance and also in the hotel behind, but I thought we want one kind of right in the heart of the water park, just to sell things like the rings just there, like extra ones, not the ones to go on the slides and stuff, but just like extra ones, like souvenirs that you could buy and use in the pool and then take home, and obviously they would all be branded up to Primrose Lagoon. Along with that, we've got the guest services there, again, just for any queries and things in the middle of the park. So yeah, quite happy with how that's looking, and we've got that kind of rustic feel, again, just on here. It's kind of like, you know, like Animal Kingdom when you go to Walt Disney World and you walk around the queue for like Expedition Everest and stuff, and you're walking around it and you're thinking, this has been here for hundreds of years. That's the kind of feel I wanted with this. Like, it's naturally grown, this like Caribbean town, you know, it's gradually kind of grown over the years. But yeah, we've called that the Shack just over there. Nice little bit of inspiration from Alton Towers. And I will be needing some more name suggestions and things, but obviously that will be coming when the series continues from the middle of February. A little bit gutted that I've not been able to record anything else this week, but it is what it is. Like, I've been so ill and I'm still not the best today. Like you can tell, I'm so flued up and literally had a coughing fit just. It's not been great. Like, a lot of people got the flu at the moment, so I do apologise. Tarly Retreats, we've got a nice colourful sign there. Again, just duplicating that and putting it on the other side as well. And this is for like this kind of relaxation pool, but it's also the landing pool for some of the slides as well, including the kids slides and some of the raft slides on the other side. Now, obviously, it's quite a large open pool at the moment with some of the slides landing into here. We need to make sure that we block them areas off as well, so that when people are coming off the slides, they're not just going to get, you know, hit somebody who's in the main pool. So we're going to kind of landscape there and block them off. Like I say, you know, in last week's episode, it was about getting the shaping, putting them where the pools are going to go, not really thinking about the exact detail. That was all going to come in this episode. More rocks going in there, and this is all around the kids pool and the kids slides that we've got. We've coloured them now as well. Yeah, starting to give the slides their actual colours, what they're going to be. We've got an orange slide and a yellow slide here. I thought that'd fit really well with it being a kids area. These are two just standard body flumes just here. Not very long, not too thrilling, just a nice little ride for the kids. And then obviously just behind it, we've got these two bigger slides. These are both raft slides just here. One's double raft, one's single raft. One's got that drop that kind of comes down there. The other one's got a downward helix. But yeah, we want to make sure that we add a lot of landscaping to this over here. So we're going to kind of go away with like some of the tropical theming with this one. It's going to be a bit darker, a bit more foliage around, some different trees other than just palm trees and tropical style. But you'll see that progress over the next couple of minutes just here. Yeah, just adding plenty of rocks around, and yeah, just making sure that this looks really nice and immersive from down on the ground level. So when people are chilling in that pool or going past in the lazy river, you get a nice look up at all the theming. Now, I know I could have removed the supports out the lazy river, but I think it's a lot more realistic keeping them. So I decided to leave them in place and yeah, kind of work around that with what I'm doing just here. But yeah, I think that's looking pretty good from what I can see. Here's the trees that are going in around here now, and some little bushes as well. So like I say, we're kind of gone away from the tropical style of the trees here and just going for a bit more heavy foliage and landscaping around here. Again, just so each water park has kind of got its own sections. It's all one theme, but you've got different areas of this town just here. I tell you what though, when you zoom out and start looking at it now, it's starting to look nice and full, lots going on. And that's how I like my parks to be, you know, lots going on to see all the way around. Now obviously we've got the hotel which forms part of the backdrop. We want to make sure that blends in seamlessly with the water park. So we're putting a bit of a beach out the back here. We've got some other water. That isn't for guests to swim in. That's literally just a couple of small ponds out the back. I didn't want to add any swimming pool or anything there. And what I've got phase 2 planned for the water park, which I'll hopefully do in the future. I might never get round to it, but for the start of the season. But if I do the phase 2 of the water park, then obviously what I'll tend to do with this is add a slide tower maybe on the side of the hotel. And then maybe like an infinity pool or something like for the hotel use as well. But for phase 1, I thought I won't add that in around here more palm trees going in just here too. And then we're going to start working now on the main entrance area to the park. Now, obviously, you're going to come in off that main entrance plaza. You're going to enter into this little like Caribbean town, and that's the kind of vibes that we want to create just here. So yeah, working on that now. These will be the entrance turnstiles underneath the building here. We've got these little poles going in, and again, nice and colourful as guests make their way here into the water park. And I didn't want kind of to give everything away as soon as guests made their way into here. Obviously, some water parks, you kind of walk in, you'll see everything, you know, kind of out there in front of you, or they'll bring you in on a higher elevation and see that. With this, I wanted to have this small kind of town feel when you come in, a bit like, you know, an entrance main street, if you like what we created over in the theme park with the Vikings area. That feels like a long time ago now. Oh, I guess it was 11 weeks ago, but yeah, it was last year. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure we have that kind of, you know, little street vibe going on just here. Obviously, we've got a few food outlets in already, but we're going to have a big indoor restaurant just here. I think it's important to have an indoor restaurant down on this side. I think in terms of food, that's probably all we'll have in here for now. Obviously, as the water park expands, we'd add another big restaurant on the other side. But yeah, I think having Pineapple Joe's as a kind of outdoor eatery, and then this main restaurant, along with a couple of other stalls here and there, will be enough to kind of get us started with this water park. Now, another reason for doing this was also to kind of block in the outside world. Obviously, we've got the car parks, we've got the roadway there. We want to make sure this is immersive as possible for guests that are inside here. So we want to kind of block that in. So as soon as you walk into Primrose Lagoon Water Park, you've got all these buildings down the side. You've got the berms, the little hills with the trees on. So that's going to kind of block out the outside world. And yeah, keep it nice and immersive just inside here too. Yeah, you can see the little bits of bamboo being added. I love this resort pack. I've got to say, as much as there's not like loads of theming yet in Planet Coaster 2, I am a big fan of all the theming that they've got. I think the Vikings, mythology and resorts is all fantastic. There's still no word at the time of me recording this about a DLC, an updated, you know, scenery pack or anything like that. There's been no updates yet. So yeah, they're going to have to release something soon, because people surely are going to be you know, going to be running out of ideas. Obviously, got this idea for the steampunk area, utilising the aquatic theme. But other than that, like, you know, really, we'll be stuck for doing areas then. So we'll just see what happens. Hopefully, by the time we get back into this series, so in the middle of February, then, yeah, there'll be some more themes to kind of work with as we finish off the theme park. But yeah, this series will definitely be wrapped up by the kind of middle of March, I would say, before the start of the season, when we're back out in the parks. Very time consuming, like I say this. So yeah, as much as I love it, you know, I can't wait just to be back in the parks and walking around and just enjoying it all, to be honest. I am excited for that. And playing this just really makes me think, oh, I just can't wait to walk around a real theme park again. I love it to bits, I really do. But it's a great game, and certainly keeps me entertained over winter as well. Just carried on then building all this up, and that's why I say it's about building up layers and gradually adding things. I find it so much easier doing that. I know a lot of people may find it easier concentrating on one thing, and like probably instead of doing like I did in the previous episode and kind of building all the infrastructure and then doing all the theming in one go, some people may prefer to just do one slide, one pool, add all the theming and landscaping, and then move to the next. But for me, I found it a lot easier doing it this way, and I think it's also a little bit quicker as well, doing it this way too. These are all part of the entrance building. Most of these will probably not really be occupied at the start, but when we need to expand the capacity of the water park, we can add more food, we can add more changing rooms, we can add anything we want to inside them different areas. So what we're working on here now is just a little covered area. It's got no other purpose other than being a nice bit of theming around here and a bit of a photo opportunity. But also, I guess, it just kind of blocking the outside world, and that's why we're building up the terrain there too, just so we don't see that from the outside. Right then, as I mentioned earlier on, obviously we've got quite a few of the pools where the slides kind of come out into the same pool, which I wanted to do because I really like that at a water park, when you can come off straight off a slide and then go into the pool instead of having to get out of a landing pool to then jump in another pool. And there's quite a few water parks like that. But obviously we need to make sure it's nice and safe. So what we've done here now is added some rocks in the middle. That separates the lazy river off from them other 2 landing pools. And we've got some slide exit only signs going in. So again, this was, you know, nowhere near finished in the previous episode. It was just kind of putting in the basics. Now we've kind of blocked them in. Something else that I didn't really do loads of was thinking about the depth of the water. So what we're doing here now is adding some more flooring just to make it not quite as deep for the kids' pool, and we're going to build like a children's play structure on that back section there as well, which I'm sure will come together really nice. Just adding some more foliage around this section too. We've got the big kind of funnel slide that comes out down there, and yeah, obviously around the landing pool, just adding some more greenery and rocks around just to kind of start filling this in a lot more. And yeah, at this point, you know, really get a good idea now for how this is all going to look once it's complete. Adding the landscaping round. It's amazing though, isn't it, how you start off in this game with just like a piece of grass, you know, a piece of nothing, and how it evolves and how it develops so much just here. Yeah, really happy with this. I'd probably say this water park's one of my favourite things I've ever built in Planet Coaster. I think that is literally because of the fact that, you know, it's the first one I've ever done. It's exciting doing something really different, and I do really like that aspect of it. The fact that, you know, it's completely different to anything I've built before. If you remember Roller Coaster Tycoon 3, that had water parks in, but they weren't very good, and I never really got into the game anyway. To be honest, I hardly ever played Roller Coaster Tycoon 3. I was like pretty much straight back in to playing Original and Roller Coaster Tycoon 2. So I never really got, you know, I've never really built water parks that much, you know, so it's nice just to actually get in and build one for the first time in this game, and kind of put it all together really. We've changed the colour of the slides just here, so you can see we've gone for a blue, green and black kind of theme going on here. Green for the one with the big funnel, and then blue for the other one with a little bit of green and things in there as well. You know, obviously with water slides sometimes they can look a little bit tacky, can't they, when you're trying to do the theme in and make them look nice, look a little bit tacky, the colours. So I've tried to kind of base this on Rulantica, and the fact that, you know, that they're just done so tastefully. The colours for the slides match the areas really nicely, so that's what I've tried to do my best with this here. But yeah, that's looking great because it really blocks in as well the view of the road from the outside. And I know I keep mentioning about, oh, covering the road up. You might be thinking, Sean, well, why did you build a road there if you wanted to cover it up? Realism, that's why. You know, obviously that road has to be there. It's part of the infrastructure of the resort. And I thought it gives me a boundary. Like I mentioned in the last episode, I like having a bit of a boundary to work up against. And yeah, adding that road in actually really helped me with what I wanted to do. So yeah, we've got the exit area there for the big slide. Just adding some big statues down there at the side too. And then again with that scaling tool, making the wooden beam a little bit bigger, adding that across the middle. But yeah, that's looking good. The landing pool there is nice. Now obviously we haven't got to think about a conveyor return or anything like that for the dinghies. If this was a real water park, then yeah, you know, you would have a conveyor belt return. I'm hoping at some point they might add them in, because then you could put the conveyor belt on the side to kind of take it back. Obviously we don't need to really think about that because they're not in the game, but yeah, realistically, you know, you would have a conveyor belt return there for the dinghies that are coming down. So yeah, just adding a few more water features round. Obviously the lazy river is a place to relax, but also you want a few water features to make it a little bit more exciting just around there too. And you tend to find that with lazy rivers. Charlotte doesn't like it on the lazy river when there's fountains and things, but it does add to the fun, you know, when you're going round. I quite like it. Not too much though, not like big tipping buckets and stuff, but yeah, just like, you know, little sprinkles, and especially when it's hot as well, it's nice, just a bit quite refreshing, isn't it? So we've got the drop slide just on here. Again, we've got all these coloured now as well, how they're going to be. We've got the orange slide, we've got the red slide on there, like a brown colour there too. I'm not going for anything too like garish, you know, not anything too much, just a nice kind of, we wanted some variety in the colour of the slides, but I didn't want them to be, you know, too much either. So I think these look quite nice. I think the colours have been tastefully done. Generally with water slides, you do want them to be different colours, because people can, with water slides, people can look at the different colours and think, oh, you know, that's that slide because it comes down and does that. And I know that's certainly what I do when I'm looking at slides. I think, oh, I can just follow that colour. If you had them all the same colour on that same slide complex, people can't really do that, can they, when it's different slides? Obviously, it doesn't matter if it's the same slide, like here with the mat racers. They both do exactly the same thing, and they're both right next to each other. So yeah, we're just adding in what is the final slide tower for theming around here now. We've got some bamboo, and like I say, the whole water park, it follows one consistent tropical theme. However, you know, different areas have got more like wood than others and more colour. The other side's a bit more colourful than this side here, where we're going more with some of the beiges and browns and darker colours just here too. We've got some nice architecture on there with the archways. We've got some wooden beams coming down. There's a lot in this resort pack. Like you can make such a great themed water park. Like you can see here, like it's really coming together beautifully. You can do a great indoor like centre parks, like subtropical swimming paradise style water park as well, using this, which would be really cool. Again, more rocks and landscaping will be going in around there, just kind of filling it all in. And you'll see me doing that shortly just here. Fantastic. Oh, I tell you what though, I can't wait to get rid of this cold. Like literally, I'm just like, oh. Yeah, it takes it out of you, doesn't it, when you've got the flu, when you've had a cold. But yeah, fingers crossed, feel better soon. But I didn't even know if I was going to get a chance to do this episode, but I thought I really want to make sure that I get this one on, just to let you all know that I've not been able to record some others with how well I've been. So yeah, I thought you'll be very disappointed if if it just kind of stops without me letting you know what's happening. But at least you know now what's going to be going on. A little bit of a break in the series, purely because I've been poorly, and then we'll crack back on with it as soon as we get into the middle of February after the trip to Florida. But you've got loads of vlogs coming up, which is going to be great. I had all sorts of plans. I was filming some top 10s and things this week, and it's just been a nightmare. So yeah, hopefully get back on track in a few days' time. I do hope so. Luckily though, with Planet Coaster, even if you're feeling poorly, still sit here at my desk and play the game and take you all along. Right then, as you can see, we are coming towards the end of the episode. There's only a few minutes left, but I hope it's really shown you how much it's developed from episode 10. Like, it's really come a long way here, and just adding some more seating in, some more lounges, and just really starting to fill that space in more. We've got a lot of pathways for seating, which is good, and yeah, just kind of filling it all in and making it look great. It's nice and colourful, and like, look at that now. Considering, you know, at the end of the last episode, it was just a piece of grass with a few swimming pools on and things, like some funny shaped pools and some slides. We've turned it into an immersive water park experience now, and as much as there's still a bit more to do, in general, you know, this is almost ready to open. You can certainly soft open this water park now, and that was the plan, but you'll have to wait about a month now until we're going to be opening it up. Saying that, with this cold weather, I don't think you'd want a water park. Not in this country anyway. Maybe abroad. Add some little lights on the side there. And yeah, we've got like a darker wood style on there, like more of a mahogany, like dark brown kind of colour just on there. But still adding some festoons around, and there is going to be a lot of theme lighting throughout the water park, and that's something again that I need to add more of in the theme park as well, to be honest, is just adding some more themed lighting and things around. I've not done loads of that. I've put like the street lights in and things, and lights on buildings, and in the water park the festoons, but what I've not done is added like a lot of spotlights and things yet, so that's something that I need to do, and I've not really shown the park at night, so all that will come as we continue on with the series here on the channel. So yeah, just as we come towards the end of the episode, adding some more finishing touches in, adding some street lights and things around, and just generally filling the space, really making sure that, you know, everything looks nice, everything looks complete, and everything looks nice and filled out just there as well. Have you built a water park in the game? I would love to know, so comment down below on this video. Maybe this has helped inspire you build your own water park. Yeah, I would love to know down below in the video comments. And as always, I love reading the comments and seeing what you guys think to my builds and the parks, and yeah, I hope that you enjoy the water park now. It's looking a lot more complete than it was in the previous episode. I think some people were a little bit too premature with some of the comments, like thinking, oh, you know, is it done? Is it? Not at all. Like, you know, as with all my builds, it takes a long time to get stuff right. I spent many hours putting this together whilst I've been poorly, but I'm glad that with how it's looking. So this was the final thing that I built, and this is a little play structure just down here in the pool. Obviously that looks automatic, but really that would be them buckets the kids could kind of go over and just spin it around themselves and tip it, and that sort of thing. So yeah, that's kind of the idea what we've got going on with this. Some little water features coming off the side, some hoses, and yeah, just a bit of a wacky kind of waterworks area for the kids just to play in there in the water park. And obviously that's on the section where we already made sure that the water wasn't quite as deep as it was before, because we've got them couple of kid slides that come out into that area too. But yeah, I do like a good wacky waterwork area. The one at Alton Towers water park's actually really good, up on the treehouse with the tipping bucket and everything. That'd be a good feature though. If they could add like tipping buckets and stuff into the game, I would really like to see that. But yeah, just adding some logs around, and yeah, like all sorts for kids to play with and climb over, and yeah, all that kind of stuff really that we all did when we were little, when we went to water parks, and still do now. Oh, there you go. Right then, so we are coming to the end of the episode. I hope that you've enjoyed it. It's been a longer one, but I hope that you've enjoyed it. Like I said, I do apologise that there's not going to be any for a few weeks now. It'll be the middle of February when the series continues, but we are heading out to Florida, and we've got lots of vlogs coming up that we cannot wait to share with you all, which is going to be absolutely fantastic. But here we go, a bit of an overview looking at Primrose Lagoon. The theming's come together, the landscaping, the colours, this little Caribbean town that's expanded with all these slides and attractions, and I'm really happy with how it's come together. Like just when you look around it here and see it all, and compared to the last episode, it's just a lot more full, a lot better themed, and like I say, you know, it wasn't even like 20% complete in the last episode. This has really been the work, putting all the theming and details in. In the end, I think it might have been 5-6 hours worth of work we're looking at here, so it took a long time to get it looking great, but yeah, it's really pleased with the end result. If you do enjoy the videos, be sure to give them a big thumbs up. It really helps out the channel. Subscribe for all the latest updates, and of course I'll see you in the next episode, which will be in the middle of February, but we've got loads of vlogs coming up next. Thank you very much for watching, and that leaves me with one final thing to say: get out there and keep on riding. See you in the next video.